This was the week where there was a 2-day congressional hearing to discuss the impact of the Dobbs Supreme Court ruling, which again overturned 50 years of precedent on Roe v. Wade. And it made for some very choice moments in Congress, some spicy little gems I want to go through. The first spicy gem is when a Representative Josh Hawley asks questions of law professor Khiara Bridges and gets just a very, very rapid schooling in what his clearly anti-trans BS line of questioning is doing and what it is and is not about. And so he effectively does the, like, what's a woman? Define a woman, which is a comment we all get. Here you go.
Professor Bridges, you said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning?
Because,
so we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm
is
denying
dangerous.
that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So
pregnant.
you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this, where
No,
they're told
allowed
that they're
question.
opening up people to violence?
We have a good time in my class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Wow, I would learn a lot. I've learned a lot just in this
know.
exchange.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Yep.
Ugh. Extraordinary.
It's hard for me to reconcile the level of destruction these people are unleashing and how fucking stupid they are. Like, there's no amount of like, oh, this person seems like he knows it. Like, at least with Donald Rumsfeld, you had the sense that he knew what he was doing.
He knew how to torture.
Yeah, like, you knew he was the devil, but he was fucking good at it. And so, I am certain with this professor that there is some like later that night over a martini at some bar with friends, there was a what I would have said was story that she told.
Oh, absolutely.
And I would pay any amount of money to find out what that was.
Yes. She kept it together and also was so not giving him the answer that he wanted, and yet was so clear and concise about who can get pregnant and what she's talking about and what anti-trans language is. But his reaction really was, to me, very sophomoric. I mean, it was exactly what you would hear in a like, you can do that in a college class. Like, wow, my line of questioning is anti-trans. What is a woman? You can't even define. Like, I've argued with those douchebags in college. Like, that's all I did in college was argue with those douchebags. And like, this is a fucking sitting representative. This guy gets a chance to talk to Khiara Bridges, who's actually brilliant. She's a brilliant scholar. She's incredible at breaking this down, and he just wants to ask her, what is a woman? Oh, it's just so small. Anyway, another person who goes even further is South Carolina Representative Ralph Norman, who wants this to be about infanticide. He thinks, and I don't know, I literally don't understand this anti-choice line of thinking that like people are killing babies when they're born. I'm not sure where we're getting infanticide, but here's his line of questioning. Being then schooled by State Representative from Georgia, Renita Shannon, and then National Women's Law Center head Fatima Goss Graves.
You agree with infanticide?
Well, I think you're using inflammatory language to basically describe a situation that does not happen. We don't have infanticide happening. Doctors would not do that, and neither would folks who have carried pregnancies.
Okay, would a healthy
and
child,
later-
do you agree if a healthy child is born, that it's that woman's right to decide if it lives or dies?
What I think is, based on your question, you have a very low opinion of pregnant people. Because if you think
No,
that anybody would carry...
answer the question.
Excuse me.
Answer the question.
I'm answering it. Do you
No,
want
you're not.
You want
I
to
will
answer,
take it
or
that
you
you
want to keep
agree.
talking over witnesses? What I'm
No,
telling
no.
you is nobody would carry a pregnancy and then decide on a Monday because they are bored that they want to have an abortion. That's ridiculous. And it's inflammatory. What you're saying, you're talking about families who are in tough situations where folks have been excited about carrying a pregnancy. Most of the abortions that happen later in pregnancy are really tragedies where it's really a disappointment for everyone involved.
But you agree with, I take it with all those words, you do agree with basically murdering a child after they're born. Miss Graves, could you answer that? Would you just, yes or no?
I have to say, Congressman, how you just characterize the representative statement is extremely inflammatory and the type of thing that it's dangerous.
And what
you guys have been talking today about the threats against crisis pregnancy centers, which I assume are serious and are terrible. The threats
I've
that
got a
people
limited
who
amount of
work on
time.
abortion
I'm not letting you
access
reclaim
take
my
every
time.
single day.
I'm assuming
and
that you're
part of
for
it is because
infanticide.
of this
I
sort
would
of
also say that
inflammatory
her
and outrageous
language that
language.
health-
It is
Madam
not
Chair,
okay.
let
Gentleman's time.
Congressman ask the
He's
question.
reclaiming his time.
I would say that.
He touches kids. I'm just going to say that. He has touched children.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you so wish that what they said was, "Sir, do you know what the clitoris is?"
Yeah. Sir, where is the clitoris actually? No,
Yeah.
no. I'm asking you a question.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Sir, when I say WAP, does that mean anything to you?
Yeah.
Have you heard of that terminology before? No. So you do believe in infanticide? Like, what do they want? What do they want? What do old white men in power want that they don't already have? Literally. Other than like what? I'm sorry. Like, again, you don't know how to turn poor people into fuel yet. Elon's working on it, but you don't. You don't have that technology. Why? Why do you want more people like strapped with kids, poor, angry, disaffected? Like, what the fuck is again, you're not even tying us together and like making yachts out of us.
It's wild that they are attempting to build a political movement out of banning recreational sex. You wouldn't think that would be a winning program, but apparently people are into it.
No. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, to say nothing, we're going to talk about the anti-sodomy laws, but I'm really like, really, have you been on the internet? Nothing but sodomy. Just nothing. I'm just kidding. But it's mostly that. Also this show and other good shows. You guys,
It's just this show and then sodomy.
It's this show and sodomy. You like, how are you running on that of like no sex for pleasure in the year 2022? It's all we've got. You've destroyed everything else. I think sex for pleasure is pretty much that last vestige of good that we have.
Time for a crossover episode of Bitchuation Room Sodomy.
No. Why do you plant that in people's minds even though it probably was already there? It's very hot suddenly in my room.
Sorry. Not involving you. Just instead of
Involving
having that
NATO.
nice, yeah,
Involving
it
NATO.
can involve me. I'm like, whatever. But instead of that nice purple background, just people butt fucking behind you while you're talking about the state of democracy.
I'm just like, but these representatives would love nothing more. Josh Hawley wants to be pegged so bad. Like Ralph Norman again. Ugh, I don't even want to know. Just live your life. Stop trying to take everyone else's freedoms away. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuationroom. Do it.